It's late nights here for College COD as we're getting into our third match of the afternoon. I was going to say afternoon, but it is definitely not the afternoon anymore. Zep, for you, it's pretty much morning time. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, but I just can't tell if I've kidded myself into that or if that's actually the case. You know, I mean, I've been enthralled by the action. We've had some fantastic games here this evening. The adrenaline of those has been keeping me awake. Of course, it's an up and down affair, but hopefully Game 3 doesn't fail to disappoint and we get action similar to the previous two that keeps me awake and enthralled throughout.
Well, we got Dakota State versus Bethany, Swedes tonight on our last match of CCL day number 1. We can take a look at the map's modes for the series. It's Scar, Hardpoint, Exposure, Search and Destroy, Den Overload, Exposure, Hardpoint, and Raid S&D. This is going to be a really fun series to look at, Zep, because for both of these two teams, they have quite a tenured stay inside of College COD. I mean, for Dakota State, this is a team that, you know, we've seen a lot of history with in the past couple of years. They're going into this season now with a brand new player in Pelican on their starting roster, Pelican being a substitute in the past. We lose Crisp Quesadilla. We don't get to cast over such a fantastic name in College COD anymore. But we get to see a brand new player on that starting roster in Pelican, and I'm really excited for that. And for the other side, for Bethany Swedes, I mean, this is a team that, you know, back in MW3, back in MW2, had top 32 finishes. You go into BO6, you take a break because it seems like Bethany really stepped away from Call of Duty as a varsity sport, went to the club status, and you know, going into BO7, they've revived it now. So I'm excited to see what they can do with this revival coming back into College COD.
Yeah, I mean, you're coming back into College COD, what a great year to do it, right? I mean, we've often talked about over the last number of years, maps have kind of been here or there, so to speak, to put it kindly, in terms of how people have felt about them. But, you know, you're coming back into a Call of Duty with, you know, quite an advanced movement system in comparison to what we've gotten over the last number of years, maps that a lot of players and fans seem to be really enjoying. You know, the hype, I think, really is there for a lot of Call of Duty this year, from the highest levels of the CDL to the amateur levels, challengers, just all the way through. Everyone seems to be really excited with what Call of Duty has to offer competitively this season, so it was a great time to do it, and hopefully they can go on a good run once again here and stake their claim and return in form back to the CCL.
Yeah, you know, even the players on Bethany Swedes, they said to me, or at least Biz said to me, you know, we're not entirely sure what to expect, but hey, we're looking forward to growing together and getting our school back on the map for CCL. And I'm excited for that too, because not only do we get Bethany Swedes back, but there's going to be so many new schools, new rosters to kind of watch out for this year. And new players as well, looking to not only break into College COD, but the Call of Duty competitive space in general. I mean, just look at this past weekend at Major 1 in Texas. We had a College COD alumni in Dan Ghosty walk away a champion in a major. Not his first, won't be his last, but it was one hell of a watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And if that isn't inspiration to all the players playing here today and throughout the course of this season of the CCL, then I don't know what will be. You see the direct pathway. If you can do well here going forward, you know, you're going to get noticed. There are eyes watching you. The pressure is there. And, you know, let that pressure make diamonds. Enjoy those eyes being on you, because you've worked so hard to get here, and this is your chance to do it, right? Even though it's, you know, it's day 1, it's week 1. Show from this point forward that you're a player that's not to be messed with. To start to instill fear in the opposition and the rest of the teams in the CCL. Show them that you're here to mean business, and that you're not just looking to win here, you're looking to go that one step beyond and potentially go all the way yourself as a player in future.
And you want to know something funny, Zep? He couldn't even win in College COD, but he can win a CDL major. So, you know, take that as it is. For all those College COD players out there that are like, man, I can't be a champion, but, you know, maybe one day you can be a CDL champion in that same
Well, I mean, that's it.
Just shooting for the stars at that point, really. And, yeah, I mean, getting into this match, because we were completely off the rails and talking about these two teams. You're going to a Scar Hardpoint. We saw Akron Zips move into their matchup versus Penn West, and it really took over on this map. I'm sure you were watching the sidelines there on what really transpired with that map mode combo, but going into it, it's really the ARs that we've been looking at that take over this map time and time again.
Oh yeah, AR is just such a presence on this map. I think the map would arguably be the longest lanes out of any of the competitive maps we've seen here in this COD. You know, dominating that midpoint, dominating over towards the right hand side as well. It's just, actually, in saying that, the more I think about it, the more it's just every single lane. You need an AR posted up if you want to do any damage throughout the mid. But to begin with, Bethany Swedes doing the damage to the mid, picking up a couple of kills, still contested though as both these sides try and vie for a bit of control.
Well, Melt's going to be able to take some presence out of this hard point, but you lose the Dakota player that was sitting inside the hill. And you have a couple more that have to collapse and get some work done just to get back into this time. Sin looking to flank with the rest of Bethany Swedes to get your team back into this P1 hard point, and they're going to be able to do some damage there, but all eyes towards the rotations. The new kid on the block, Pelican, with the double kill to lock it down.
Yeah, and so far, pretty even Stevens. We've seen a lot of players just come through with a couple of two pieces and then it ends up resetting in either a contest or a flip back. And you know, while Bethany Swedes got more time, there's nothing to really brag about there as of yet. Dakota State, they have spawns, they may be able to lock down some time themselves. We're going to see how Bethany Swedes can break onto this point. They're going to need to prove some breaking power here early on in the map, and Dakota State Trojans so far setting up pretty well, but already liking the way Bethany Swedes are moving in. But of course, it's so hard to get around that corner at the motel, and you really do need to if you want to get any sort of control on the point.
Well, it's 3 down again in favor of the Trojans. You see Bruggs and Melts just taking over in that kill feed. Finally, that spree for Bruggs is going to take it down, but Melts is looking for his 4th in a row, and there it is, still holding on to this hard point. You got a couple players to really worry about, but for Melts in general, you're just holding on to this lane, holding on to this time and this streak, and throwing this lead for the Trojans heading into P3.
Yeah, this was a terrific hold for the Trojans as they get rotated over. Bruggs as well, you know, 7 and 4 before getting dropped. As you say, Melts on that 5 spree, 40 seconds in hill as well, reaping the rewards of holding that time, picking up those kills. And now transitioning over, Bethany Swedes going to try and recoup a little bit of that time that they lost, being unable to break onto P2. We get to see a little bit of their holding power here as the collapse seems to be on from both sides here. The spawns potentially going to favor Dakota State here for P4. It doesn't flip, but the kill coming through there means that they get complete control of P3.
Melts is on 8. So we're on a streak watch to see how far he can go with this one, and it won't end anytime soon. 10 in a row for Melts, 11 and 3 to kick off this Scar hardpoint. Looking for a little bit more. Can you get better than Exotic Burrow? He'll hit number 12 before going down, so already putting in work for the 2026 season for the Trojans. It's going to be a pretty good lead heading into this P4, and they got the spawns.
Look, you got to say Dared on the side of Bethany Swedes is doing a good job of keeping his side in it so far, 12 and 10, getting in those engagements. But on the overall Dakota State Trojans, I'm liking the positions that they're picking up. They seem to be controlling the map a little bit more, controlling those lanes from switching between the points. And then also when they don't have the point, they do a good job of collapsing in quickly, not letting the Swedes get that much time off any point they've rotated for. And another point now that Swedes have to try and break into, but Dakota State, we've already seen on P2, they can hold well.
We're in the back. You get a break for a moment here for Bethany Swedes, but you got a couple players spawning up to still worry about, and just like that, Pelican continues to rain terror on these hills. Spawn in the back for Bethany Swedes, so one more go at this 25 seconds. Janitor going to take a separate route back in the side window. Can he get a jump on these players into the hard point? On the hill he goes, but quickly he's going to be dispatched up by Bruggs, and we're looking at P5 now with Dakota State over the 100-point marker.
It's been immaculate from them, and you know, it's unfortunate for the Swedes. It feels like whatever they do, they're just getting one up, right? They get 2, Trojans go get 3, right? It doesn't matter how well they push into the point. There always seems to be a great rebound from the Trojans, where the Swedes never get full control of the point or any position that they want to hold. Even now, you know, not having that full control of this point, now spawning out Trojans with a pretty clean hold, and are going to know exactly where the Swedes are coming from. Dared, of course, picking up a lovely 2, which will give them an opportunity to go through, but are we going to see another 2 for 3 trade here where, yeah, again, we're seeing it where Trojans are just getting the majority to be able to reset things despite what Daird's putting up.
Spawn in the back for a couple players from Bethany Swedes, but it doesn't look like they're going to read. We're watching for it. Double kill's going to lock down those box spawns. All eyes forward, and Melts to the rescue to assist Bruggs inside this hill. 8 in a row for Bruggs. He's got a Hellstorm. Melts has a Hellstorm. Dakota State have a firm grasp on this game, and realistically, I'm not seeing any way in when you got Janitor and Sin struggling the way that they are.
Well, that's just the difference maker, isn't it? You have two players who are popping off and two players on the other side who are doing, the complete opposite of that. They're just not able to pull up the numbers, and, it's where the Trojans are picking up the kills as well. They're not just running around slaying out. They are picking up these kills in really beautiful positions and getting another wave of 3, which is just going to give them that complete mid-control to where they almost get to dictate where the enemy side is spawning and where they'll decide to push yet next. They are just in complete cruise control here at the moment, and Melts as well. 20 and 11 with 114 on Hill. Terrific performance of him to begin with. Brug's about to hit a minute in Hill as well. Just overall a terrific team performance.
Well, as they're cruising through this game 1, Zep, I think it's a good time for us to hop on board with the Trojans and hear how their comms sound.
I'm top wood right now. Get
Go
yellow.
yellow. I'll go yellow. Yeah.
Cut's clear.
Yellow, dead.
Top blue right now.
Gate. Nice. Composure, boys.
Top
Coming
blue,
out.
a bullet. Push him, leave him, drop the point. He's gonna be Jen.
Jen dead.
One all on me. I'm good.
I'm Jenny.
I got your help, yellow.
Sat.
Good win.
You're so bad.
Top wood now, top wood.
Oh, mid cut. Two mid cut. Gonna be
Yellow, one shot. Oh shoot, I'm naded.
1 HP.
I spawned out. There's spawn in there. Set. Top wood.
Yeah, I'm pinched. 3.
Yeah, top wood.
Two on.
Got me.
Got one.
Come on.
We're good.
Need the shit out of that. Need the shit out of Jen.
Just ran right past me.
Oh my god, shit. You're so
Huge
bad.
pickup. I'm watching mid. Yeah, push in front. Dead. Backwood, dead. Top wood.
Top wood last.
Four. There's 4 dead. 4 dead.
Sorry.
Don't worry about it. Don't even worry about it.
Maybe flip. I'm watching gate. Yeah, P1.
Bro, two front.
I'm on new.
One's weak, one's half.
1
Don't
HP
pick up
top
my
wood.
mid.
I got him out of time. They're not
cutting
getting
you,
the
I'm
scrap,
cutting
bro.
you.
These guys are terrible.
Stay playing. I'm critting.
I spawned out. 1 mid. I have a free kill. I'm behind another one. 2 more on me in the back.
I'm jumping it.
He executed me.
Got you.
Church.
Top church. Oh!
Time down. Bro, shoot back.
Good work.
Hello?
I got it. No. P5. P5
have
side. Stay
over
down
you.
if you're on hill. Stay down if you're on hill.
Yeah, not peeking.
You're good.
Somebody go fast. Help me.
You jump in.
Yeah, I'm getting the plane jump.
I'm streaking this.
I'm with you.
One more. He's so weak in the right corner, left corner. I got mid.
Fine.
It is all Dakota State in this map number 1, 232 to 72. The comms are confident. These guys are letting them know. And as we're getting into the last couple of moments, you get one more chance here if you're Bethany to break this hill, because Dakota State, the Trojans, they can win on this time, and they are ready to put this one away. A couple more shots here. Theatrics will get into the hard point and steal it, but you look over towards No, and it's only 4 seconds needed for Dakota State to put this one in the books.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time at this point. Anything that the Swedes get is just a consolation prize, trying to maybe set themselves up going into map 2, but there is almost more than a mountain to climb at this stage. So much that needs to improve, but for now it's the Trojans cruising through this map number 1, 250 to 86. Phenomenal performance across the board, nullifying the Swedes completely. Dare trying his best to pull these numbers back, but when you're dealing with the likes of Where, there's not much you're going to be able to do, as they were just having their way with the Swedes across the map, across the board. Perfection of the performance.
Hey, just look at this too. I mean, we were listening in on the comms, and it was just a load of fun for Dakota State. I mean, they were just hooting, hollering. They were making just noises. I'm like, what are they even saying at times? But you're just having a load of fun in that map 1 on Scar. Start to finish, it was the Trojans score, or Trojans show, in this map 1 hardpoint for Scar and Bethany Swedes. I mean, at the gates, you saw a little bit of life from them, but really struggling when it came down to those rotations to the new hills, just not able to lock down those rotos, not able to win those fights, and just constantly getting broken.
Yeah, I mean, all the time, as you said, they were never really getting anything on the map. And, you know, you can break down so many different strategies as well of what worked and what didn't, but ultimately it's a case of picking up the kills, right? And as unfortunate as it is to single it out, I mean, you've Sin, Janitor, Theatric, all of which picking up, dire KDs, especially Janitor. It clearly shows a bit of a level difference here at the moment. Players might not be that experienced. You know, it is a birth by fire, and you know, hopefully this is a place for them to be able to continue to improve, right? Maybe they're starting off a little cold going against this Dakota State Trojan side who may have been really feeling themselves coming into this map. You got to take this map as a little bit of a learning curve and not let it get to your head too much.
Yeah, going into our map 2s, I think that's where we've seen a lot of teams really pull things back from a deficit. I mean, in every single series that we've had so far is that the team that wins map 1 actually ends up losing the series. So you go into this one for Bethany Swedes, you look at the search and destroy, it's like, all right, you know, let's just kind of kick things into gear, shake it off, and look at this map number 2 and just a different set of eyes, because game 1, Dakota State were just all over you from start to finish. And I mean, even looking at, you know, some of these highlights, just the fights that they're taking, they're just winning so many straight up gunfights, double kills, ego chows onto the point. It's just everything for Dakota State was locking down this map 1.
Yeah, I mean, you saw some back and forth double kills to begin with, to where you thought, okay, this could be quite a back and forth game, but they slowed up for the Swedes quickly, and for the Trojans, they just kept coming. And I mean, as soon as we got to P3 and we seen Melts go on an 11 spree, that's when the alarm bells start really ringing, as to like, oh, hang on, they are really slaying out together as a side. And as I say, that was just a snowball effect. It just kept rolling. They kept getting more comfortable. As you said, the comms, they were just having fun. They were slaying out. They were doing the basics right, and it was more than enough for them in that map 1. But map 2, search and destroy, it has to be your bread and butter as a competitive player. Maybe this is a way in for the Swedes.
Yeah, exposure too. I mean, you just got to look at that sometimes as a competitor, Zep, and you just got to laugh a little bit. You know, it's like, yeah, we got dumped on in map 1. Hey, you go to map 2 and just like, it's a brand new game, rack it up, just kind of look past that. And you know, it's easier said than done, surely. It's pretty frustrating getting a beatdown like that in a hard point, but search and destroy for a lot of players is their way into competitive Call of Duty. I mean, how many times do you look at, you know, player coming into the comp scene, you're like, oh, hey, these guys grew through search and destroy ladders. These guys had S&D chows throughout CMGs or GBs. And, you know, I think for Bethany Swedes, you look at this map number 2 and you're like, you know, what are we going to do now? Map 1's in the past, map 2's in the horizon. You go into exposure, get a couple first bloods your way, you could really be looking at some icy moments.
Absolutely, because again, you know, hardpoint, we talk about it. What is the mode that teams are always scrimming with each other, right? It is hardpoint, okay? That's the one they're always getting the reps on, the ones they're trying to perfect as a 4. But again, as you say, what brings you to competitive, what brings you into Call of Duty, the bread and butter, it is that search and destroy. You're going to go in as an individual if you want to play in any sort of level, and you're going to be decent at this. And, you know, the reps, obviously, when it comes to doing certain strats, of course, you want those reps, but they're not going to matter as much because you're going to have a little bit more of that natural instinct kick in, and that natural instinct might bring you to a little bit more on a level playing field. Will the Swedes be able to exploit that, though, in their favor? I'm not sure. They definitely have to show something here in the search and destroy, or else that den overload is not going to be looking very pretty.
Yeah, I think it's the respawns that you're looking at that Dakota State surely are like, okay, if we can't win the search and destroy 3-4, that's definitely our maps to lose. After what we just watched at that map number 1 for Dakota State, though, I mean, we can kind of spin this on the other side, because this is a team that, you know, has lost the glorious Crisp Quesadilla going into the 2026 season. I'm pretty sure that Crisp Quesadilla is actually coaching this team for Dakota State. I think when I was looking through the chats, I actually saw that Coach Crisp is going to be jumping in to help him out through some of these maps, between maps. Which is really cool to see that alumni player is helping out in that way. But you look at this team going into a new year, bringing Pelican from the substitute bench onto the main roster. It's his first full season with DSU. That's a pretty good way to showcase your first ever match, Zep. I mean, it doesn't get better than that.
Yeah, you're dead right. Like, at the end of the day, you know, you've been given this opportunity, right? You've been knocking at the door for a while, being that substitute player. You get your opportunity to come in, and, you know, it's not just about how you play as an individual, it's about how you play as a team. And granted, the Swedes currently haven't shown themselves to be, you know, top tier opposition for the Trojans, but maybe the reason for that is because the Trojans as a team are just simply doing such a good job at nullifying any threat that the Swedes could present, right? And it looked like a very solid team performance. They had a lot of map control. The way way that they collapsed onto points, it was quick, clean, and precise. So, you know, and not just in terms of that individual level, but actually rotating into that team and feeling like you're part of the unit early on is proven to be doing very well for him so far.
It looks like we got the Cubes chat said that they scrimmed Bethany last week, and this Bethany team can win the S&D. So, hey, you know what? I'm riding with that too. I don't think we got the Preds in chat right now, but if we did, I'd put some points down for Bethany Swedes going into this one, which actually I think would be a little bit of a conflict of interest, considering that I'm sitting here on the desk, Zep. I don't think
just
I
a
can
touch.
do that.
Just a touch, like, but you know, if you don't tell, I won't tell. You know, I don't think anyone's gonna be overly annoyed at it. Well, it just doesn't go on this wee circle, right? There's like over 100 people watching, and it's only them that needs to know. Okay, no one needs to be getting wound up with this.
I think I'd probably get an earful from Chugs afterwards, being like, really, really, you're gonna do something like that on day 1, 2? Like, we got so much college COD to go through, but it seems like we're getting a little bit of a buffer before we get this search and destroy underway. And you know, as we do have a little bit of a break here too, don't forget, guys, because we got so much to bring to this year of college COD, and you know, a couple of us have been working behind the scenes to bring a little bit more to the limelight in terms of the player interactions for the community and how these players kind of found their way into college COD. And I've had a lot of pleasure sitting down with some of these players, talking about their experience, getting to know, you know, how they not only got into competitive Call of Duty, but how they got into college COD as well. And it's been great hearing those different stories on this journey that has been a while now for college COD, Zep. And, you know, if anybody out there does want to kind of sit down, I mean, we got so many opportunities to showcase these players, and I can't wait to hear from more of them over the course of this season. I think that this is truly going to be one of the best seasons of college COD we have.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, and I mean, you know, kudos to you as well. You do such a great job, you know, reaching out to the players and having those conversations, and it's exactly what we need to see. You know, we need to see people, you know, talking to these players, you know, giving the players these opportunities to tell more of their stories and have them be heard and generate that interest as well, and also to be an inspiration for other players coming through, right? Because as we all know in this industry, the path through on esports is not a simple one by any means. So hearing those stories of people that, you know, you could be in their shoes one day, whether you're thinking of going to college and maybe competing in the collegiate scene, whether you go about it by different means, you know, hearing everyone's story is super important. And, you know, above all else, you get to hear their story, and then you get to see them compete in games like this where they got to put their money where their mouth is.
Yeah, no, exactly. And if you guys want to go check out some of those interviews that we do have, go to x.com/college COD. Follow along. So much to be looking at in the rest of the year. So much to come content-wise behind the scenes for this league. But for now, we got map 2 ready to go. Dakota State going to be starting off in the attack, and it is going to be full steam ahead over towards B. Dare's going to spot that, and he does not dare take that chow. First blood for Prugs. Dare not going to bring things back. Melts finds a second one, and the A B site has fallen.
Yeah, the Trojans going aggressive, and rightfully so. You know, if they're scared of the Swedes, they don't want to give them time to get set up. They are going to go with aggression, try and shock them out of the first couple of rounds, and that is exactly what they do. First round going their way, a blitz round to say the least.
And I mean, everything about that round was Dakota State kicking off this, you know, search and destroy the same way that they left that hard point. Just relentless pressure in terms of getting over towards that B site. You got Sniper out for a second. Did he put it away here on the defensive side? I mean, don't normally see a defensive sniper on a map like Exposure, but it is going to be a pretty big stack over towards B. And here comes Bethany to see if they can work some of that magic that we saw from Dakota State in round number 1. Melt says no can do. Dared goes down soon after 3 versus 2, and that's going to kick things off for Dakota State to just continue to push forward. And we got a 2-0 game.
Another great round from the Trojans, it has to be said. Again, 2 rounds going incredibly aggressive towards B, but I feel like the Trojans are giving the Swedes the respect here that they're due for the search and destroy, recognizing the danger. They're not playing any games. They're sticking together. They're pushing up aggressive, and they're making sure that, you know, at the very least they're there for the trades. The trades haven't necessarily been needed in these couple of rounds here, but you can tell that if one of them was to drop, someone's right there to make sure that they are avenged, and the Trojans are just, you know, focusing on getting the job done here.
Well, 2-0 up for Dakota State. It's looking like Brooks is going to be bringing that sniper out in round number 3, but instead of the B push, it's going to be a hit down the middle of the map. Lots of space given up again from Bethany Swedes, and in turn, Melts decides to take that space right to the death. So, first blood for Bethany Swedes. See if they can turn it into a round.
Yeah, great way to answer back though. Bruggs 4-0 to begin with, rotating back now. Very split on the map here, the Trojans, but can they use that to maybe collapse in and get a couple of kills? Sitting up top, Bruggs has baited out his position. He is going to rotate out, and so far actually it's not ran into anyone. Are they both going to try and link up here through the mid? Sin going to try and pick up this kill. Terrific timing. It's all up to Bruggs to try and rescue this round for the Trojans.
It's really good round 3 from Bethany Swedes. Surely Captain Brooks gets caught out, and he will there. Bethany Swedes put themselves on the board, and that's what we're... Excuse me. That's what we're talking about here in the S&T. From the Swedes, just excellent pace of play. They're waiting for the aggression, dealing with it in tandem, and kind of catching the speed and immediately taking control. That was just so good, especially off that first blood they got into Melts. Right after that first blood, you get, you know, P5 push from Theatric. He gets caught off guard. So Bethany Swedes starting to feel themselves in map 2 now.
And the way they've adjusted as well, those first 2 rounds being super aggressive and then recognizing the aggression and playing to counteract that. It's what every great search and destroy team is able to do. They have to be reactive in a map, and they have reacted well here, but they're going to need to try and get another if they want to even it up.
Sounds like a sniper is going to be out in the field. Not sure exactly where that is, but if it's Bethany with the sniper out, they definitely have to be careful for the speed yet again. Brooks is going to fall to his death, but it has been the Melt show all round long, looking for the round 4 ace. Dared trying to stay alive, goes for the beatdown, and he's going to stop that ace in its tracks. Soon enough, you'd imagine that the trade's just around the corner, but Tater's just popped himself in the corner. Finally, he's going to be spotted out. Won't win another fight. Dakota State immediately bounced back after losing 1.
And I think the Swedes are going to be quite well poised for their defensive rounds if they're going to continue to play passive and maybe try and bait in some aggression for the Trojans. But it is those offensive rounds that are going to be such an issue, right? Where they have to cause the issues by going on the front foot. I just don't think they have that direct 1v1 gunfight ability other than really Dared. They're just not able to deal with these 1v1s versus the Trojans. So they're going to have to, you know, obviously lock down these defensive rounds, have no choice but to do so. It's the offensive rounds they need to sneak. I'm struggling to see where they're going to do that.
Yeah, at the same time, I mean, if Trojans are going to get all this space on the attack, then they don't really need to get fully aggressive into the base. Theatric's going to open up with the first blood immediately. Pelican trades it out. 3 versus 3. Has to back up and pick up that bomb. Well, that happens. Melts does a great job at reading the flanks. So numbers now for Dakota State. See if they can work this into yet another round win, but you got Bruggs with a sniper and Pelican with the bomb. They're going over towards B. Dared in a corner. They're not going to raid this one. They line up together, and the Swedes find yet another defense.
Yeah, good positioning from the Swedes. Dared again, you know, just making sure to be proactive and getting pushed up, but a little bit of a lapse in concentration, I think, from Trojan, just being a bit slow in reaction to actually push it towards B. Again, 2 versus 2. Why not turtle up and get moved quicker? Kind of just sitting around that mid, almost waiting for someone to push them, but that was never really going to be the case. They moved quicker towards B. They may have gotten to a bit more of an advantageous position on the site to either then make the challenge for the plant or even defend the plant itself.
7-3 for Melts. Really taking over for Dakota State, but same can be said about Dared. The other side, 6-3. Melts with yet another first blood towards Dakota State Trojans. Going to put Bethany Swedes in the hot seat for this attacking round. And look at the space for Pelican. He's gone unchecked for this route. But at the same time, he might have just got the most unfortunate timing of the start of the season. All three players slipped past, and they got a full route to B.
And we are seeing we're rotating back. He's going to have to check
Melts.
the claps in as well for Melts. He's going to rip them apart.
Oh no. Dared for the 1v4. He's not even going to have a chance at this one. Oh, that is just... It went from the worst timing to the best timing real fast.
Yeah, again, just aware, right? I mean, you saw the rotation back towards the B side. Again, they weren't getting any information mid. They made sure to be proactive to have a player re-wrap it. And at that point, you almost just have, because you have players split apart in so many areas of the map towards that side, they can almost just all collapse in back towards that P2 area and just completely trap in Swedes on their push. And again, you're looking at that Swede side. It seems to be only Dared who's able to put up a direct fight. Janitor not being able to pick up a kill here in the search and destroy so far. And the Trojans are just playing at such a great pace at the moment that so far, for the most part, the Swedes have been struggling to deal with.
Well, the Trojans going to bounce back into a 2-round lead. Full counter from Bethany Swedes over towards B, and they flipped this map. But Dakota State are doing the exact same thing the other way. So as soon as they see nobody's home in the spawn at B, surely that's going to be a call for Brooks to turn around. He's got to know that the flank's coming at some point.
Yeah, they gotta get themselves rotated back and covering up. You're seeing Melt's kind of taking up an advanced position in mid here, but I think they're just very happy to get that information as they start to flood forward.
It's really going to be Melts in this position. How do you even read this one? As soon as he gets going, he almost finds another triple kill. Swaps the pistol, but Sin shuts him down. 2 versus 3. Dared. Does he have it in him to find a couple more kills here? The timing might work out to bring it into a 2 versus 2, but now he's going to be isolated in the back line, and he's not going to be ready for the second shell. Sin all alone. 1v2 for 15 seconds left. Caught with the nade in his hand, and the Trojans put themselves on map point.
And you know, I will give credit where credit's due. The Swedes were almost close there to pulling that one back. If you're Dared in that position, it sounds horrible to say. I think you'd almost want to play a bit more of the bait off your teammate than you would directly going for that kill, because you're the only one that seems to be able to do the damage. You want to be able to catch more players on the back foot. The more you can keep quiet, almost it's the better, until you can get into that position to really put the hammering blow down. But of course, clutching at straws at that point, you need your teammate to be able to successfully work in that collapse with you.
Look at this play from Bethany Swedes. It's a Hail Mary down the middle of the map. Dared's going to open up with that first blood. Patrick's almost having a chance to double down onto Pelican, but Melts has found a route through the mid, and he is continuing to tally up some more kills. 13-5 now in game number 2. Full takeover for Melts as he just continues to shut down the opposition. 1v3 for Dared. Captain looking to go down with the ship. Or can he float to the promised land? 50 seconds to make something happen here, and he is just getting no timing. Bomb down. Oh, he's got to go deep to bring this one back.
Yeah, I mean, look, there is no way to do it right now. I mean, you have Bruggs and Pelican just playing well, but then Melts in a free-flowing state, right? It's just pushing up with that sub. So you look at the way he's rushing towards his B now. He is desperately searching for that kill, and you know what? He's probably going to get it. Diving down to pick up the kill, to take the round and the map from Bethany Swedes to go 2-0 up in this series. And it's as cool, calm, confident as you like. Melts 15-5, showboating a little bit here with the dive at the end, you'd feel.
Yeah, Melts is feeling good in the search and destroy. 15-5. That's one way to put it away. And we can look back at the tally for S&D. 6-2 for Dakota State Trojans to go up 2-0 over Bethany Swedes for our final match on day 1 for College COD 2026. And even just kind of looking at it too, First Bloods really going for Dakota State all the way through for every single round they win, except that last one. And then you got Melts down the middle of the map. He just barrels through, finds that double kill, And it's all over when Melts gets into that free flow position.
Yeah, when Melds is flowing, there is absolutely nothing you could do. The only thorn in their side, and, you know, barely a thorn at that, was Dared, right? Dared was getting into a couple of interesting positions, right? When that first blood came through, he was making sure to, you know, rally the team together, make sure to be there for the trades, to see the round through. But again, you know, on the overall, that is just clutching at straws. You know, the individual can only do so much, especially playing against a team like Trojans, where they're all feeling confident, but one player in particular in Melts, and, you know, Brug's having a nice little dander off the map there. But when you have the likes of Melts who can pick them up, it doesn't matter in the end up. Ultimately, clean, clinical performance once again, with the Swedes in deep trouble.
Yeah. It was all over as soon as Melts gets going. And you had a couple moments on the defensive side where Bethany Swedes were really doing a good job at, you know, catching some of the aggression from Dakota State, but it's when you don't win those battles, and Melts is winning those one-on-ones, and he gets lost, and he is able to just kind of duck, dodge, dive all over the map. It's really hard to lock somebody like that down, and, you know, towards the end, that showboat and the dolphin dive, he's going to put the cherry on top for that 2-0 lead for Dakota State Trojans, heading into this den overload, 15-5 out of the man. And this series, it is way different than the last two that we saw, Zeb. 250-86, 6-2. You go into this den overloaded for Bethany Swedes, you're hoping that you can hit the 12th gear to shut them down.
Yeah, because I mean, look, otherwise you're dealing with a demolition derby here, right? The Dakota State Trojans clearly just a level above the Swedes. They are the underdog side who are going to have to pull something out of the backpack to get anything from this series. But again, you know, as the Swede sides take it as a learning curve, right? Whether you do take or don't take this map, it's an introduction back into the CCL space. You're getting to understand what the level is and where you need to be. And, you know, if there's any place you are going to have your most terrible games, week one is probably the best place to have them, right? It gives you so much time to course correct, understand where you're going wrong, and make those fixes in time for going into the back end of the season, to where you can hopefully sneak something to get you as far as you feel like you can go within that season. So plenty of time in the course of the season, not much time left to correct it in the grand scheme of this series.
Here we go, Zap. Potentially the last map of the night if it keeps going the way that DSU want it. Den Overload, we saw a lot of it today. For Akron, not really the map that you wanted it to look like in the respawns, but for Penn West, the way that they handled this one was magnificent in terms of, you know, you play from Dojo side, you're looking to pick up that B zone, high ground, force those back spawns over towards A. You know, opposite end, if you can get into the dojo, if you can get behind enemy lines, you can get lost around that throne. And this spawn trap in the throne side, it is so deadly on Den Overload, so hard to break, so easy for the attackers to really set up on crossfires. A really tough map to deal with if you're fighting for the back foot.
Completely, and I think that's what the Swedes have to be keeping an eye out for. If there's anything they're looking to correct and to take a small victory from this map, if they feel like it maybe already be beyond them, it's just not to get spawn trapped, right? If you're going to lose an overload, you know, 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, try not to concede 2 or 3 in a row from just being spawn trapped or being completely outgunned. Pick up some positions, try and cover each other's lanes, make sure you're at least slaying enough to get out of your spawn and to be able to have some sort of damage or influence to the mid-map. You don't want it to be a walk in the park for this Trojan side.
Well, here we go for Bethany Swedes. What can we see out of this roster? As again, off the break, it's a couple good kills, but Rugs for the break off. Already through Dojo, looking to get behind enemy lines. That spawn up over towards B should give it away, but Janitor gets ripped. A couple more kills for Dakota State, and you really got to deal with this player in the back line.
Yeah, Brug's already wreaking absolute havoc, dodging left and right, now taking out Sin. Again, is almost just trying to make his way to Dared, who's the player who's, for the most part, was successfully holding down mid until he maneuvered off it. Still fighting through here, 5-0. This has been the perfect start. Now chasing back, actually spawning with them, just We're laughing a cheeky little run alongside here. The pistol out for making it 6, making it 7. Now going to be able to turn back around to go to A. That was a weirder 7 streak I've ever seen.
He almost let them run right back to their zone. That's kind of BM if you think about it. Deep down. But surprisingly, even off the back of this, Dakota State has struggled to get this first goal in. Bruggs on 8 in a row to kick this one off. He's going to hit that fast rotation away from the A zone, or maybe it's a big bamboozle. They're at back. 3 players still here. You got the forward blockers, and you're trying to get it in. Melts, Pelican, they punch their way through. You get that first goal. And why not a 9th kill, too, for the shot punch? 9-0 with the score. He's got himself an EMP, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah, I mean, that is a crazy, crazy start. I mean, practically running alongside the enemy team when the Swedes spawn back up and then getting that EMP, staying alive on that 9 spree. Looking like he's going to be able to make it 10. Oh, great prediction. Going to make it 11, as he does. A perfect performance so far as they look to push through for that second.
Brooks. Oh, I thought he was going to be able to make it 12-0, but finally falling. 11-1 starts at this game, and here we go for the counterattack. Bethany Swedes looking for an answer, but as soon as you get into P2, 3 go down, and you are right back where you started. Bruggs leading the charge now over towards the B zone. Outside on the rooftop, Janitor's not going to be ready for it. Dared finds his second one. Dared finds 3. A couple of body shots, too, because, you know, it's just spicy like that.
Well, listen, 12-5 again, having another great game in comparison to the standards of the rest of his side. He deserves maybe a couple of body shots, maybe feeling a little bit frustrated, venting it out where he can. Melts picking up the 2 before he gets dropped. But yeah, if anyone deserves to feel a little bit hard done by here, it's Dared.
Yeah, and even still, I mean, for this game to be going the way that it is and it only being a 1-0 lead for DSU, I mean, Bethany Swedes, this isn't terrible, to say the least. But really, it's the Dare show out here, and there's the second goal coming through from Dakota State. Nobody there to defend. Dare tried to get an angle on it, but he wasn't there in time. Janitor's good for 1 inside computers, but he's going to be breaking on through. Bruggs, nice shots there, mixed in with Melts. You got the overload device, and you're rushing into A.
Yeah, the way they combined together there was just absolutely phenomenal. Melts is going to be pushed up, just causing issues throughout the back. Going to try and pick up a couple of more before going for the EMP. Eventually does get dropped. Will be up to Pelican to try and get in there. But Swedes should be able to get pushed out here unless Wur has anything to say about it. You know, as I said, they are surviving, but they have shown no real threat here as of yet. And if anything, just one more wave of kills, I think would have a big game set match already early doors.
Oh god, Janitor's going for the break. He just wants to full blitz it, but Pelican on the flank finds 2 kills. 8 should be good enough for some damage there from Dared, but Melts gets the trade immediately. He's already pushed in towards Dojo. Overload device not going to be in the hands of Dakota State, but you still have to worry about Melts breathing down your neck. Brooks is just going to pick it up and hold on tight. He's even got a swarm. He really went Super Saiyan. Off that initial break off. 36 seconds. Bethany Swedes sinking in deep waters right now as Janitor trying to get his way around. No! Okay.
You don't like to see that, do you? Not something you see every day, someone falling off there. But Swedes having a chance now to maybe sneak this through, but then a double nade from Bruggs. God, you are having nothing go your way if you're the Swede side here.
No.
You just want a little bit of good fortune to push through, but not to be, as Bruggs now 20-6, EMP in hand. I'm going to try and maybe get one more before the half is over.
Halftime. As the overload device is going to hit that ground. 2-0 for Dakota State University. The Trojans looking for a 3-0 sweep in their debut to the 2026 season, and realistically, we have not seen anything out of Bethany Swedes that is going to change our minds so far. Going into the second half, I mean, you just gotta start picking up some confidence in terms of these chows, because you got Dared putting on a generational game. You just haven't really had any help if you're Dared at this time. You got like a spark in the pan sometimes from Sin and Theatrics. Janitor hasn't really looked all that well. This is a long highlight package. Are we going into the second half? Okay, yeah, we are going to the second half.
Now listen, there was a lot to cover. Trojans, they've done a lot of great things in that first half.
Yeah, I mean, you've had some moments for like off the back of Dare, and you know, sometimes you see Sin and Theatric find a couple of kills. You just need to give Janitor the rock, cover the guy, and take him to the promised land. Push his way to the end zone.
I've seen Theatric actually get completely around the back here, but I mean, if no one's dropping, there's really no point in being around the back. So it's kind of having a backtrack here through A, just being in a position where he's been no help at all. A free hit through B, and you know, you go for those spawn hits when you're picking up those kills. Otherwise, you're just filling up space.
Well, 3-0 for Dakota State. Everything's just getting out of hand now. Hit over towards this A zone. You do have a defensive stand set up, but Brooks is just trekking on through. It could be another score. Dare shuts it down again at the end zone. He has been so crucial in keeping this game somewhat respectful for Bethany Swedes. 26-14. I mean, Dare is unreal for this squad. He is really trying.
Yeah, I mean, he's been doing a great job for them. I mean, it will be 5 or 6 at the very least, if not for Dared. But he also has a lot to shoot at, right? His teammates aren't picking up enough of the numbers. He does get his pick of the bunch. But Dared is one of those players you do wonder what it'd be like if you just had at least one more player in the side that was of Dared's quality that he could bounce off of, right? With the greatest respect to the rest of the roster, no one's been really coming anywhere near what Dared's been able to provide in this series for the Swedes. As now Trojans look to get pushed through. That's 4 down, as easy as you like to make it. Overload number 4 on B. Is the spawn trap going to be in from here?
Pelican, good shots there. 4 dead again, and there's the 4th score. This game's been done 4 years ago. We got Melts in the back line on 6 in a row. I lost my feed for a second, but 5th score coming in as well. Hellstorm for Melts. Darren is going to catch a couple of those players off the exit, but 2.5 minutes to see if Bethany Swedes can put some relays together.
Well, you know, it would be nice if they were able to get at least 1 or 2 on the board for the confidence levels. I'm sure Dare would like that. I mean, being on his way to a 40 bomb and losing 6 or 7-0 on an overload would be a very, very heartbreaking statistics. But now we're seeing Trojan over wrap towards A. They may be able to get through. Is Brugge going to wait for assistance? He may not feel like he even needs to, as he does have some help in the back. The flood going to come through here. That's 3 dead. Make it 4. Overload number 6. It's only a matter of time from here.
Melts. Oh! I mean, it is so snappy. They got the spot up over towards the A side. Mel's still just continuing to find some kills for the team. There's going to get a good angle in. Can you get another defensive stop? 2 for Dakota State. And Theatric's actually going to fully stop this one. So here we go. Players up the spawn looking to get there in time. Pelican will have a separate look, but Dare shuts down the flank, and that's 3 kills.
They have an opportunity. Get through here. Stop it from being a clean sheet. Janitor's running through. Will he be the hero his side needs to get at least 1 on the board? It doesn't seem like it's going to be all. Although Sin managed to pick up 1 before getting traded. A little bit of a back and forth here. All up to Dare. He got 1 and has been so often been able to get 2 on the defense, but on the offense, not able to manage it. And the Trojans will be able to rotate out through mid.
Sin with the pistol out. 3 dead again. 6 turns into 7. Darren's double kill is going to be all for naught. 40 seconds left, and Dakota State can still win this one in regulation with the way that they've set this up. Spawn up over towards B. Melts is looking to go rogue again in the opponent's spawn. And it looks like here we go. Dakota State trying to put this one away. A team kill. Brooks, he's going to run this one through. He backs up. He doesn't even want to. 20 seconds. Janitor's here. Janitor stops the potential 8th capture. A team nade. 1 more shot. They're going to run it through. And Dakota State with a 3-0 sweep on day 1 puts them 1-0 in the standings after taking down Bethany Swedes.
Massive congratulations to the Trojans and commiserations to the Swedes. I mean, again, just feel like an easy day at the office for the Trojans and for the Swedes. So much to learn from that series, and at the end of the day, if you're dared, I mean, 38 and 18, I think it was at the end. I could be mistaken on that, but 38 kills at least, and losing 8-0 on an overload. There's something going really wrong there if that is the case, right? You should not have a player being able to pull that many numbers and still have the result go that poorly. There's a lot that needs to be worked on for that side.
And you know what? You look at that one, and I'm going to say this every single time, don't feel too bad, because at the end of the day, Zuma went 4-23 in a professional match of Call of Duty.
Very
Octane
true.
dropped 2 donuts in a search and destroys. I mean, like, what can we say? Things happen. You have bad games. You have bad days of COD. You just got to laugh at it sometimes. For Dakota State on the other side, one hell of a debut to open up the 2026 season for a lot of these players. I mean, this is just getting back to your roots for another year of Call of Duty. For Pelican, it's his debut on the roster officially after sitting on the bench and substituting in. The little brother to Chris Quesadilla takes the rise up to the big leagues now, and they get a fantastic debut to the CCL.
Absolutely, and you know, you look at Bruggs and Melts as well, players who were really picking up the kills in this series. I mean, what was Melts on? I think at the end, was it 39? I mean, he was really slaying out with that sub. 39 and 19, I think, 15 and 5 in the search and destroy. I mean, those are some top tier numbers.
That is, I mean, Dakota State is coming out and showing how to get it done across it. You really just gotta be excited for what this team can bring now after a performance like this, because it truly was dominant. I mean, it really looks like between 2025 and 2026, there's been a lot of improvements just as individuals too. Melts is looking unreal. Bruggs in that map number 3, I mean, just look at his scoreline, 32 and 17 going into the end of it. And I mean, for Pelican, there's so many times where I was just looking at some crucial kills coming out of Pelican, and he was really stepping up for the team when it came down to those defensive stops. 3-0 on the night. They get the job done. This really just puts the Dakota State Trojans in your mind as a team that you really look forward to seeing more out of them.
Absolutely. A side that at the end of the day has made a statement here today. You know, again, phenomenal performance across the board. They have history here in the CDL. As you said, that rotation of Pelican coming in, just doing so well, rotating into this side, and I'm just really excited to see what they'll be able to provide going up against a different team. You know, I want to see how they play on the back foot themselves, right? Because I think it is fair to say, again, with the greatest respect to the Swedes, we haven't seen the Trojans challenged yet, and I want to see how they play under that challenge. I want to see what they do under pressure. I feel like early doors in this series, I think about maybe halfway to 3/4 of the way through that map 1, I think we were potentially seeing them, maybe not say down at 80 or 90% in terms of the effort, but they were in show-off mode, right? They realized that they could have a couple of moments, they could make some clips, some feeds, they could have a laugh over the comms and not really have to lock in. I want to see what this side can do when their backs are against the wall, because they've shown that even playing the way they played, they have an ability to slay. Now I want to see how that plays up against more evenly matched opposition.
And not to mention, you know, the first split of College COD is going to be a little bit of turbulence, but you get into the second split, you're going to be playing against teams at your same skill level. Once we're able to differentiate the top to the bottom there, and we make those splits a little bit more even, that's when you look at this team to really catch some fire, catch some reps, get some improvement going into the year. And for Bethany Swedes, they said they're not really sure what they expect. You know, a game like that, you can't really look at it and say that, you know, this Dakota State Trojans team, they've been prepped, they've been ready to go. You just hit a brick wall there. It's okay. There's going to be plenty more matches to play, and you'll have your chance again.
Yeah, absolutely. The chances will indeed come. As we talked about going into that final map, I mean, if there's any map that or if there any series that you're going to have your worst series on, have it be the first one in week 1, right? Get it out of the way, have it be your learning experience, kick on from there, show what you can do, learn from your mistakes, because, you know, on the other side of things, you could be pretty fortunate in how things start off with to begin, and you could have easy games for your team for a number of weeks, and then all of a sudden you hit that roadblock and you realize that you haven't been challenged as of yet, and you haven't in at any point in the season up until now had to overcome adversity. And if you go against a team who has already, you know, been in a situation where they've had to drag out a couple of maps 5, they've had to deal with delays, they've had to deal with that pressure, they're going to know how to deal with it, and you're going to be sat there having to try to adjust on the fly. So, you know, for some of these teams like Trojans who have had a 3-0, you're also going to want to get into those challenges early.
Of course, and you know, as those challenges kind of come into fruition, excited to see how these two teams grow. I'm excited to see how every team grows, but for first day of College COD, one hell of a ride. I'm happy to be back, Zep. It's been a great showcase for a couple of these rosters to open up this season. What a year it's going to be. And for Zep, I mean, for you too, I mean, coming into another year of College COD, it's going to be great having you here alongside us.
Yeah, well, as look, man, it's an absolute pleasure to be here. You know, the whole team that runs it. It's just so much fun to be a part of, working with all you guys. You know, top tier professionals, and even the production that gets put on with all these graphics and stuff. Literally, before we started today, I was in awe of everything that was being put on here. I was asking Prosper about absolutely everything that was on our screens, how he managed to build it. Like, it's just a testament to everything that's being run here from top to bottom. It's so much fun to be a part of, and I cannot wait to hopefully cast many more games at you this season and get a little bit more of an insight as to how these teams are going to fare out in this season.
Many more to come, and many more matches to look forward to this week as well, folks. With a brand new year of College COD, we got brand new things to showcase, a lot new to the table too, and I'm glad you guys love the listen-ins. I'm glad you guys love the content pieces that we've been putting together, but the content is just the beginning right now. It's going to be one hell of a ride, one hell of a year. Last year was the renaissance. It was just the beginning, and this year we're really looking to slam things home. So don't forget to follow along at x.com/College COD for the rest of this season. We got day 2 tomorrow of the 2026 year. Same time, same place. We'll see you later.